Good evening. Facebook has been performing very well recently in the past few years, but there are so many opportunities for the company's growth and improvement in products. Because of that, I would like to present to you all a proposal for a product extension and redesign of Facebook's Free Basics platform. So here's a little overview. Free Basics is Facebook's platform for connecting 2/3 of the world that does not have the internet. And another definition to provide some foreshadowing is net neutrality. Net neutrality is when internet service providers allow access to all the different types of content available on the internet without any bias, meaning that certain content is not blocked off and certain content is not pushed forward, especially content that is branded. So the problem we have here is that Facebook's Free Basics has been accused of violating net neutrality because only certain types of content are allowed on this platform, while Facebook advertises that this is the internet, but only the products and services that were created for the Free Basics platform are allowed to be accessed on it for free. And additionally, it seems to users that Facebook's best interests are being put in front of the philanthropic effort that is being advertised with Free Basics. So, looking into the problem further, net neutrality. Let's talk about zero rating. So, zero rating is a type of service plan that telecom companies provide. In these zero rating plans, telecom companies provide free access to certain content on the internet. And as I mentioned earlier, Free Basics users can only access certain content designed for the platform, blocking off the majority of the internet. Additionally, critics have claimed that Free Basics lacks valuable content such as educational sites and government sites, and there isn't any ability for users to learn, create, and build off of this supposed internet. Looking into the best interests, again, as I mentioned earlier, it seems that Facebook is using this platform more as a customer acquisition strategy versus a true philanthropic effort. One of the heads of Airtel, one of the top international telecom companies, even specifically mentioned that he could see himself working with Mark Zuckerberg and Facebook to monetize Free Basics users in the future. So with that background, let's go into the proposal I have for you all today. And the first part of this is a product expansion and redesign. What I'm proposing is that we expand Free Basics into a modified, stripped-down web browser. Currently, it's not a web browser. It's just a platform that has content loaded onto it, and it doesn't give users the ability to go to certain URLs and content like that. So what Facebook and Free Basics need to do with this expansion is make this browser heavily text-based in order to minimize data costs. And additionally, it cannot prevent users from accessing certain content, and it cannot directly lead users into certain branded content. This is the current design of Free Basics. You can see certain branded content like AccuWeather, Baby Center, BBC News, Dictionary.com, Facebook, and Facebook Messenger. Additionally, there's ability to search on Bing search, and the problem with that is that when users search on Bing and then try to access a search result, they're then required, they then can't access on Free Basics, and they're required to pay the data cost to access the search result that they have. So here's a proposed redesign. On the top this is actually a wireframe, so things are a little basic on this redesign that I have for you here, but the top is a video, preloaded video that will help users understand the value of the internet and how they can use Free Basics. Going down, you see Browse the Internet, that's a title, and certain sections: news, education, weather, health, messaging, and web search. And that web search allows users to access the entire internet, while these other sections help users get into the more valuable parts of the internet. And the second wireframe on the side is a proposed news page, and this isn't biased in any way, meaning that it's not taking content from certain specific news providers. What it's doing is taking content from the top and trending news articles, and it automatically refreshes based on the content, the topics that you see on the top. So if this was being accessed in India, the user would see India on the top. But if it was in Egypt, or another African country, then it would show that respective country. And basically, if the user clicks that, then they can see news from their country. Then we see world news, business news, and technology news. Next part of my proposal is investing into online education. So, taking India as an example again, online education is actually gaining huge traction there. There are a lot of startup companies that are gaining a lot of momentum, and people in India are finding a lot of value in their education. Additionally, Mark Zuckerberg and his company with his wife, the Chan Zuckerberg Initiative, have invested into multiple startup online education companies such as Baiju and Della. And my proposal is that Free Basics can partner with companies like these to create text-based educational content to provide to Free Basics users and give even more value. Now let's go into our timeline. It's a relatively short process for expanding this product since it is already developed to an extent. Research shows that expanding this product will, designing and prototyping this product will take approximately 3 months, and testing that product and doing user research on it will take about 2 months. So a total of about 5 months. Next, our budget. After doing some research, I found that we would value 5 additional employees for our team on Free Basics. We could use some software designers, software engineers, and some experienced designers. Experienced designer salaries at Facebook are on average $120,000 a year, and software engineers earn about $142,000 a year. And Facebook's existing partnerships and research and development will be able to cover the otherwise additional costs that will be incurred by expanding our product. Some considerations for this proposal. It's possible that our expansion may cause friction with the telecom companies. They may not be willing to support the additional content on their 0 rating plans. But to conclude, an expansion is still definitely plausible. Expanding Free Basics into a modified web browser will benefit the well-being of our users and as well as the growth of the developing communities. The internet's value will expand across the world, and it will help grow the global economy and GDP. And as a result, Facebook's value will increase as well and will become a more recognized brand with all of this. So with that, thank you all for your time and consideration.